A Baptist preacher and his wife decided it was time to adopt a dog. Ever mindful of the congregation, they knew the dog must be a Baptist. They called kennel after kennel and explained their needs. Finally, they found a kennel whose owner assured them that they had found the right dog. He had one he wanted to bring right on over. And so the kennel owner brought the dog to meet the pastor and his wife. "Fetch the Bible," the owner commanded this dog to do, and sure enough, he perused the library, found the Bible, and brought it back to the minister and his wife.
Hallelujah.
"Now find Psalm 23, the owner commanded. The dog dropped the Bible to the floor and, showing his amazing dexterity with his paws, went through the pages and found that exact song and brought it over to they were absolutely floored, and so this was the dog. Right. They adopted this dog right then and there. That evening, a group of church members came by to visit the minister and his wife. And they began to show off the dog and have him locate all these various passages in the Bible, and the dog hit them every single time. And one of the guests asked, "Does this dog do just regular dog tricks?" So the minister said, "I really haven't tried that yet." And so he did. He pointed to the dog and he said, "Heel!" That dog jumped onto the pastor and put one of his paws on the pastor's shoulder and the other one on his forehead. Tilted his forehead back and howled. Right? The pastor looked at his wife in absolute shock. "Good Lord, it's not a Baptist. It's a Pentecostal." Today, we are coming together to extend our vacation mode that we started at the beginning of August. So we're still on vacation, everybody. And laughter, I'm telling you, laughter is like the best way to dissipate any stress in your life. If you can really laugh, then you can dissipate that stress.
I have no stress.
More seriously, and more church-like, we have been gathering in the month of August, as I said, going over these different vacations, and it's all about taking this collective vacation from those attitudes and beliefs that keep us from, sinking down into places that we might not want to go, and also to reveal to us our reason for being on this planet. And that reason for being on this planet is to express God's light, to be God's love, and to live God's truth. That is really our true reason for being on this planet. And so this might have been a little challenging this past couple of weeks. I don't even know how long it's been. It feels like forever. While we had an earthquake, a hurricane, and then the normal day stress factors that just occur in life. So you might feel a little jolted. So this is taking a vacation from stress, from all that stuff. And so, I don't know how it's been for all of you, but, I've had a few challenges this week, so I can understand the stress thing, and I know that I'm really ready to take a vacation from it. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Just wanted to check. As a brief review before we delve into this week's topic, I want to, with the first week we discussed taking that vacation from scarcity, the trance of scarcity. And then the second week in August, we talked about taking a vacation from anger. And that was the last one that I gave, that vacation from anger. Does anyone remember the 5 points? Well, I just prepared in case you kind of forgot. The first, we have 5 points, and just want to do this real quickly. So the first one was be quiet. Yeah. So when we're upset, and we have something that we really want to say to someone, and it's usually to tell them how wrong they were, because they didn't do it right, this is the exact time to be quiet, to refrain, to get centered, to refrain from speaking out in maybe that attitude of anger. So be quiet. That was the first one. We went into this in great detail. The second one is be wrong. Be wrong. 2 plus 2, if you remember this, equals 5 is wrong. And you will never get a balanced checkbook if you follow that theory of 2 plus 2 equals 5. And it's the same kind of theory with anger. You cannot truly express God's love and be God's light if you are in that state of anger. And I can tell you that you will never, ever, ever experience happiness while you are angry. It's impossible. So be wrong. Be wrong, like 2 plus 2 equals 5, wrong. Anger does not equal happiness. The third was feel loved. When we react in anger, it is usually because we don't feel love. We don't feel safe. And when we feel loved and accepted, we are able to express our true selves. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, wrote, anger can be turned into love. So we must truly believe this statement. Anger can be turned into love. And really believing it, then practicing it, it then becomes ingrained in us as a belief. But that's where the faith part comes in. The fourth, get loved. And if you remember, I spoke about having wise people in your life. Those people who will love you unconditionally no matter what you do. And when you're in a state of anxiety, fear, of anger, you can call those people up and they will unconditionally show you love. And so when you're feeling that love, you can't be angry at the same time. It's really a healing kind of balm. It's a great gift to give yourself. Have healing angels in your life. Very important. Wise people. Be loving. Now the miracle of love is that as you give it away, it usually multiplies. So the next time that you're feeling not really great or in that thing of anger, give some unconditional love to someone. Do something kind for someone. And then see how you feel. See if it shifts that whole mode, because it probably will. So that was our vacation from anger in a nutshell. So today we're going to look at taking a vacation from stress. And there are some things that can bring stress on. Does anyone have like something they can think of right now that might trigger stress within them? Just say it real quick.
Rush hour traffic.
Okay. Anyone else?
Money, not enough money.
Not enough money.
Other people.
Failed relationships.
Failed relationships, yes. Yes. There's so many different earthquakes, hurricanes, things like that, you know? Mothers. That was for someone in the room. I just passed on and I've done the forgiveness work. I know that there are a few other people who might be working on
Kids.
kids. So it really is pretty difficult to express God's love, to be God's light, and to live God's truth when we're all stressed out. It really is difficult. So what happens to us when we are stressed out? What happens to us when we really feel stressed out?
Close up,
Close up?
get angry, withdraw.
For me, I know particularly, I can't even think straight. Yeah. You get real, you can't concentrate. Try to make a decision, a correct decision, when you're in the state of anxiety, when you're stressed out. Try to make that decision and see what effect you get. While we cannot control the outer situations that we think are causing our stress, we absolutely can do something about our inner world. And Barry spoke about the inner house in that Hebrew word that I can't remember. But our inner house, you know, we have that ability. Then, when we really turn into that inner world, then we can affect the outcome. There's a subtle but extremely powerful freedom when we realize that we cannot control the outcome of most situations. It is what it is. If a hurricane happens, it happens. We can't control it. If an earthquake shakes the buildings, we can't control them. It is what it is. So we're at that point. Stuff happens in life. But you can control. What we do have this great power over is the effect, the outcome, what's going on inside of us. When we really, because it is what it is, right? Mm-hmm. The thing happened, and that's the point where we can choose how we are going to respond to that situation. And that most definitely will affect the outcome. That will affect the outcome. That's where we have the freedom. That's where we have the power. Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore in Talks on Truth writes, "Thinking is formative. Every thought clothes itself in a life form according to the character given to it by the thinker." Pretty heavy stuff. Ernest Holmes writes, and he actually wrote a book on freedom from stress. "In such degree," he writes, "as we can control our own thinking by shifting the basis of our imagery, our belief, our emotion and mental reactions to life, we can come to a place individually of peace and serenity and happiness. And then gradually, as these changes take place within us, there will be a corresponding change in our environment. Must be so. Must be so by the law of cause and effect, by these immutable laws of the universe that always work. Must be so. What we think is what we create." Remember, that's the power we have. There's one phrase out of that passage that I want us to focus on this morning from Holmes. We can come to a place individually of security. So of course, in that phrase, the key word here is security. So this morning, I really want us to take a look at what it means to feel security, to really take a look what it really means. And then I want to share some steps with you to attain it.